everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Qorent-Xperts podcast. I'm your host, Tolulope, and it's so great to have you on another edition. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the comments, the feedback. They really mean a lot to us, and they validate what we are doing here. And we thank you for the questions and the feedback in general. On today's edition of the podcast, I have with me the amazing Morenike Asein. And we're going to be speaking to the topic challenges in implementing digital banking solutions in Africa. As you already know, at Qore, we are the top 1% of the 1%. So you're guaranteed of getting subject matter specialization on trends, industry happenings, and generally just zoning in and spotlighting key things as regards the financial services industry. Just to give you a bit of a background on Morenike. Morenike is an accomplished implementation project manager at Qore, where she leads the digital channels team. Her role is pivotal in driving and coordinating the implementation of innovative digital channels and payment products, while providing a seamless transition for our clients and ensuring that their needs are met with precision and expertise. Morenike's approach is strategic and client-focused. She develops tailored strategies to enhance the usage of Qore's product and provides technical assistance throughout the integration or project implementation phase. Her commitment to client success is evident in her impressive track record of onboarding over 400 clients onto our company's digital product. Guys, give a rousing applause to the amazing Morenike Asein. Hi, Morenike.
Hi, too.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It's so great to have you on this edition of the podcast. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you also. So we're just going to basically jump right into the podcast. I'm sure that you're ready to download and give us as much as you can.
Let's see. Yes, I am.
Awesome. So I'm going to go straight into the questions of the podcast. And as we just to give a bit of a background, we have digital banking solutions across Africa, and is one of the key solutions that we offer at Qore. And today we're basically just speaking to the challenges in implementing digital banking. I mean, moving from traditional onto digital in that sense. So my first question to you would be, what are the primary challenges that are faced in implementing digital banking solution across different African countries at the moment?
So some of the challenges we face is regulations, language barrier. We also face a problem of literacy. So not so many people are that literate to have basic things required in this kind of scenarios. So for instance, some people don't have email addresses, and a lot of us can even tell that our grandparents, even though we want them to move to digital banking solutions and all these things, but they don't use those basic things. Like for instance, how do you get to download a mobile app from a Play Store and App Store when you don't even have an email address? So we have also language barrier. Across Africa, we speak different languages. Some people do not read or write English, they speak their own language. So it means that in trying to even export your solutions, it means you have to consider language as well, which is very important, because imagine deploying a solution that nobody can read or understand what it says. In terms of regulations, I can speak to there are certain countries that they don't use internet. Yes, can you believe that people do not use internet? Yes,
in Africa.
Yes, in Africa, there are places that not like there is no access to internet, but they have regulations that limit how the internet is being used. So maybe internet is just being used in one part of the country, and in the other part of the country there is no internet. So that means that limits how these solutions are being embraced. It means that it's not something that you can deploy as a one size fits all and it works for everybody. So you have to always look for alternatives to how you want to fit into these unique markets.
Okay. Awesome. And like you said quite a number of things that are so spot on in terms of just it's great enough to have a product that will make people's lives better, but just the fact that there are several other factors that one way or the other contributes to the shipping or enhancement of such a product. Like we mentioned, internet, the language barrier thing, and even proper documentation, the fact and literacy in that sense as well. So they all fit into the successful shipping of a product in that sense, no matter how innovative it is. And yeah, I totally hear you on that. To my next question, how are digital banking solutions addressing the unique needs of the unbanked and underbanked populations in Africa?
That's such a beautiful question. Looking at Nigeria, for example, we still have a lot of people that live in remote areas where they do not have access to a physical branch. So what digital solution has done is that's brought banking closer to them. So for instance, with the advent of USSD banking, you can now dial a code and you're able to do transfers, you can do pay bills, you can do airtime top up. With the advent of agency banking, you don't necessarily have to go to a branch or look for an ATM machine. With agency banking now, you can make withdrawals, you can make deposits, you can do bills payment as well. So with having internet and smartphones, you are able to download a banking app from the Play Store or the App Store, and you can open an account on the go, and your account is active, and you are able to do transactions from that account. You can do funds transfer, you can receive money, you can do bills payments, you can do airtime top up. And even when you don't have access to smartphones, that's where the USSD banking comes into place, whereby you can dial the code to be able to still do the same transactions that you're able to do even with a mobile app.
Thank you so much, Morenike. So my next question to you is, can you discuss any success stories of digital banking implementation in Africa and what actually made them successful? You can give us use cases as you can, as much as you're free to.
I'll talk about Gambia, and I think what made Gambia successful was consistency, uniqueness, and drive for success. So getting to the Gambian market and offering a solution that was not in place, and regardless of whatever the challenges were, we kept on going. So we had to do things and redo them just to be able to suit the needs of that market specifically. So for instance, I would say like currency is different. There are things that we use in Nigeria that they do not use. So it means that at every point in time, you have to make changes to your solutions to be able to fit into their market. So basically, I would just say consistency, determination in wanting to make it work, wanting to see it succeed, and just understanding your customer, knowing what your customer problems are and trying to find solutions to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Morenike. So I'm going to go straight to our next question. This has been an insightful conversation. So how important is local cultural understanding in the design and implementation of digital banking systems?
Okay, not understanding local culture means that you do not understand your customer. So you have to know your customer to be able to provide a solution to them. You have to understand your customer as well to be able to provide a solution to them. So in talking about local culture, let's take an instance, an African country whereby their calendar is different from our calendar. So it means that when there's a function on an app that asks for a date of birth, it means that in that environment, in that culture, you will not be expecting a normal date of birth because they do not even understand your own date of birth. So you have to really understand them, understand how things work, even understand their literacy level. So every time when we have these requirement meetings, we talk about how you have to come down to a customer's level. You have to be able to think like the customer before you're able to build a solution for them. So you need to know your customer. Like, this is not a cliche, know your customer. You literally really need to know and understand your customer. And that means you have to understand their culture as well. You have to understand how they think, how they do things, how long are they willing to stay on the flow. Like, yes, because if you do not take that into consideration, you will do a very long flow and they will lose interest. You also have to understand how even something as simple as their IDs, like their identification, documents, how it works. So for instance, like in Nigeria, we have driver's license, we have voter's card, we have passport. In some African countries, they don't have those things. So you really need to understand like what kind of IDs do they use. So I'll give another scenario. Like I was talking for an African country, and I realized that they don't really have like a standard official ID. So any ID works, like in their culture. You only need to know and check who is the issuer of this ID. And that goes in understanding what their local culture is like. Because if you think that, solutions will work the same way across board, then you're going to be very wrong.
Wow. Thank you so much, Morenike. I totally hear you on that. How it speaks to, it basically sums up to knowing your customer, understanding the terrain with which you're creating a product for, because at the end of the day, what's the point of the value you think you are communicating if there is no communication in the first place? So the building of digital banking platforms and solution has to be tailored to, there's no one size fits all basically. So it has to be tailored to whatever environment it is that we're proposing that solution for. Thank you so much for that. So my last question to you is basically just because we live in a very fast-paced environment where things, before you bat an eyelid, before you say Jack Robinson, something has changed. Another update has come up. Before you know it, we have 5G today. Probably we're having 6 or 7G down the line. So what are your predictions, give or take, for the next 5 to 10 years? What are the things that you just most likely see as trends or things that you feel are coming up in the field of digital banking in Africa?
Okay, the next 5 to 10 years, I hope we'll be able to see seamless cross-border transfers. Like look at Europe, for example. Like there's one currency across Europe. Money is easily sent in and out. You don't even know which country is this and which country is that when you're sending money, just because of like that uniqueness that happens in that continent. So I'm hoping that happens as well, and we're able to maybe harmonize, have like maybe we can have maybe one currency, like one approved general currency that makes like cross-border transfers easy. Like because as at today, if you go to another African country, you're having to spend dollars. Your naira is not even accepted. You know, those kind of things. Or even just seeing that other local currencies can be used in other countries. This would really, really help in adoption of other solutions as well. Like, so for instance, I go to maybe another African country, and all I'm doing is just changing my currency on top of my app, and things still work seamlessly. Like things like that, I think would really help in driving adoption across Africa for solutions. And I know that there is a lot of things that we can export. We can export in and out within Africa to be able to really move towards our goal of digitalization.
Wow. Amazing. And I really, really hear you on that last point in terms of, we keep saying globalization, the world is a small village and everything. We can see that in terms of the internet, but also in terms of financial services and how we interact in terms of trading, in terms of buying and selling, and just fiscal policies. It would really, really do us a lot of good and help us go further together as a continent in terms of Africa. If we have like a unified currency, we have more unified fiscal policies that allows me, I can go to another country, do my change of money, and I'm still able to transact in that sense. And like you said, it would really, really hasten that ease of adoption of digital banking across Africa. Thank you so much, Morenike. I learned a lot. I personally didn't know for a fact that there's a country in Africa that doesn't use the normal calendar like we do. So like these are the nuances, these are the small things that really, really make Homa products and also just make a difference in that sense. Thank you so much for this exciting conversation. I look forward to bringing you again for a part 2 sort of conversation, so that we can just really dig deep into digital banking and also just other platforms and solutions that we offer at Qore. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this, Morenike, and we look forward to having you again and again and again.
Thank you, Togo. It's been nice discussing with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. Until I come your way next time with another amazing guest, be courageous and keep being amazing. Bye.